You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Hello. All right, everybody. This week, I'm going to be looking at one of my favorite new deck builders, Fort. And this week, I have the expansion, which is really cool because I always say more games need cats and dogs. And so they've done it and done a cats and dogs expansion. So we'll
Hey,
go
Al.
over the game. What?
Oh, sorry, did I interrupt you in your flow? Are we?
Yeah.
What do you think we're looking at this week?
You said deck builder, so I picked my favorite deck builder.
Your your favorite deck builder?
Wow.
I thought we were here to talk about Dodgeball.
Again?
I mean, you know, kind of what we do, right?
Fine.
Okay. Well, welcome everyone to Thunderballs Our Go, Season 8, Episode 4. We are your hosts, Hypaspist and SilentAl. And we're going to bring you Round 4 coming in hot. So, it's been a hot minute here, Al. I mean, we've had, Valentine's Day, I think, towards the back end of Round 4, and probably some games that went a bit long.
Some games that are still going on.
One game that's still ongoing, in fact. So yeah. So let's dive in. We're going to take a look at the standings as we go into this round, and I don't want to toot anyone's horns here, but I think we both know who's at the top there.
Woohoo!
I know, right? It feels real good. So never going to get you hit. Captain Al starting the round on top with Dodge Like an Egyptian, Sweet Catcher Mine, and For Whom the Ball Tolls, followed by Dodgy Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, all on 2 wins. My Ball on Ya, Janie's Got a Ball, Donut Stop Reviving, Sisso Sit sitting on 1, and Dodging in the Dark, captained by Rip, still searching for their first win. So maybe they'll get to changing that up this round. So Al, our favourite part, your favourite part certainly, it's time for tea.
It is tea time.
Tea time, and yes, Compton P, 100% rigged, obviously, being as both Al and I are on the same team, we have naturally rigged the entire league in our favour to make this show not only interesting, but also good for us.
I will say, if we were really rigging it, I would have lost the first couple matches, and then we win all the rest. That way we could rickroll the entire season.
That would be amazing. Now, before we go into the tea, I do just want to remind everyone that whilst I love receiving all your tea, and I do, it is really, really helpful to me to get it in one place so that I can go to one place and not maybe 10 different chats and a couple of emails and some other things. So srdbtattler@gmail.com. Please use that email address. If you see tea coming from one source more often than others, maybe that's because there's a source within that team using the email address as posted. So without further ado, let's get into this now. Valentine's Day, Al, as we said, was upon us during round 4. Team activities varied from getting aha jib-jabbed to one team member sending all of their teammates a heart format. So that's Frontiers, followed by Heroes, Events, Assault, and Tech. Only for this to be misinterpreted by one of their teammates and to be called the hater format. So best laid intentions, best laid plans of mice and men. Just yeah.
Is that some sort of like psychological test, sort of like a Rorschach test? Like they give you scrambled letters and you have to come up with what you think it spells. And so someone romantic is like, oh, it's heart. And then someone else is just like, well, why are you sending me hater?
I mean, I feel like that could be a really interesting like sub-investigation into what is the most ambiguous format you could send someone that could be both a real slur, but also spin it as like, oh no, hey guy, it's just this format, It's fine. So we should we should see if anyone can come up with one of those. I think there's got to be a few in there. Chat pointing out that they missed the game unboxing. Anyone coming in late, you really did miss it, and quite frankly, that's on you.
I'm telling you, you're getting a following for this one of these days.
One of these days, we'll have to do one. Some other great formats that were sent this week amongst teammates Al were Love, L-U-V, V-Tine for Valentine, like that one, Wink, W-1-N-K, True Love, T-R-U-L-V-E, and this has got to be my favorite, is the Will You Be Mine? So that's Colony Wars as the base, followed by promos, Stellar Allies, United Heroes, missions, both events packs and bases. It's
I feel like these people have too much time on their hands.
They might have too much time on their hands. It's true. Now, it transpires after the tongue lashing we gave Lux for his inability to do anything involving his own chat. He actually does watch Thunderballs, and he was heard to vociferously defend himself, saying that he watches Thunderballs, he does not mute the chat, he strenuously denies that, he just basically ignores it, which, I mean, essentially, it's the same thing, right? It's the same thing. If you're ignoring it, then...
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. But I do appreciate that he thinks there's like a different... Like, he's so just like upset. One, I'm also amazed that he watches the show.
Right.
Like, he's just... Like, I can't even pay attention to my own chat, but the show's great. I got to watch the show. So, yay us and our viewership.
But yeah, but that tickled me, actually. Now, in other news, apparently Juan Carlos is running clinics for Star Realms. He calls it Juan on Juan lessons, although, John on Juan lessons have also been in the air. And often this is where you watch him play himself and you learn new Juanglish as you go over. Apparently classes are oversubscribed and wildly popular, so that's good to hear.
Maybe that'll be a new stream.
Maybe Juan on Juan could be Juan Carlos's new stream where he mentors people in Star Realms. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I'd watch that.
Now, whilst love was in the air for some, Al, drugs, alcohol, or perhaps hallucinogens for others, as there were several bizarre occurrences during this round, which I'm sure we'll hear more of later. But before we get to the action, we do have a little bit more Juanglish for you.
All right.
So, new entries just in. We've got... so this is in response to a game log showing the use of a reclamation station hitting for 45 damage. So,
nice.
45, not too bad. What do we think? What do we think that one is?
You did a good job, but of course I've done better.
Yeah, that's pretty much bang on. I have done better, but this child gets an approving nod. This log will be placed on the fridge. So Juan showing his fatherly traits there. And the next one we have, or the other one I should say, is in response to whether a player should go, like, take the game or go for a catch. Quite a common conversation that teams will have in their chats. What does your gut say?
I'm going to guess that means you should probably go for the game because you are a mere mortal, but I would probably get the catch no matter what.
It's close. Your in test ones should guide you to the correct answer, which incidentally is to catch. So a couple of Juanglish entries there for us, and then I think we're just going to scroll straight on to the matches. So on court one, we've got Sweet Catcher Mine, captained by Acox 89, against For Whom the Ball Tolls, captained by Zim 108. So we'll start out by saying that this game allegedly felt like some sort of Jacobean tragedy, according to a couple of the participants. There were so many bodies on the floor by the end of it. And it certainly managed to see a ton of action, even totally expending the charge of one of the match balls. I'm not sure if I've ever seen that more than once, if at all, Al. But yeah, one game ball completely used up, no more charges left. And for those of you who've never seen that happen, that means that ball just gets retired. It stops being used. Once all its charges are spent, it's done. can't use it anymore. So if, as happened in this game, it gets passed to you with no charges, well, you may as well just have been passed a ticket to the bench because it's useless. So Sturrock and Deanna B are going to take a while over their game. However, it's going to be a clean sweep for Sweet Catch of Mine as they take down all 7 race balls. And, their sweet time in getting that 7th one. We can, however, confirm an investigation into the actions of Captain Cox, as he is caught sending a race without missions to the still blind Thestral, who barely manages to catch the error, and Acox wins the real race, which is a touch suspicious there, Al, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Maraudimo and Acox get the game underway as they both go for immediate eliminations, and whilst they both miss, Maraudimo does at least keep his ball, whilst Acox provides that winning race balls is irrelevant, as he gives Bahamut his race ball as a freebie and then catches the return to bench Sean, who perhaps feels like he walked into a little bit of a trap there. Oh no, it's fine. I feel bad you didn't win your race ball. Have mine. Oh, by the way, now you're eliminated because I called.
Take it back.
Yeah, I'll take it back. It's mine now. After going back for thirds, Maraudimo finally gets his chicken and fells the unlucky Zim, who seemingly had managed to flip Maraudimo about 700 cutters, if I read the chat correctly, in their 3 games, and was in no way unhappy about that incident at all. Now, more foul play is further brought to the table as Sturrock finally wins his race with Deanna B, only to find that Polites has already hit her, and is perhaps the reason she wasn't able to get to the ball in the first place ahead of the Northeastern strategist. And another investigation is, in fact, underway. Bork misses Badwolf as Thestral and VQ are having an epic battle which ends in Thestral holding V's ball and reviving Baja Beach Club. Thestral throws back at VQ and will eventually eliminate her, but is felled by Darth Kronos and made to go to the bench where she can't hurt anyone until maybe a lot later. Spoilers. So Penguin Army catches Marauder's ball, bringing back Chickens in, whilst Polites has made an executive decision to throw at the up until now sidelined Ninja. Now we see this a lot, the freeze out, and Ninja having, like his teammates, lost his ball before getting to the game, brought into the match by Polites. Maybe Chris will be regretting that decision later in the game. I'm not 100% certain, but
I'm guessing he will.
I'm guessing he will. Bit of foreshadowing there. But yes, Bork and Beans takes out Bad Wolf for the second time of asking, and Ninja makes Polites regret maybe all of his decisions by catching and eliminating him, and now Ninja has ball. Darth Kronos, seeing the danger, takes out Penguin Army, and the game falls into a pattern of punch and counterpunch as balls fly, but no real headway is made until Sturrock takes Baja and ejects him from the beach club, and this stirs something inside Ninja, who immediately begins a campaign to eliminate not only Sturrock, but everyone he's ever known, and perhaps make him regret that his mother ever kissed his father. In his defense, Sturrock avoids death 5 times at the hand of Ninja before his unhealthy fascination with the House of Sturrock is brought to an end by the untimely death of our Northeastern hero, and Sturrock heads to the bench. It was a bad call, Chris. Yeah, no kidding. Now, in amongst his unhealthy fixation with Sturrock, Ninja finds time to also revive Deanna B, who isn't even back off the bench before Darth Kronos is throwing at her again, ref, and Acox eliminates Captain Zim, whilst Darth Kronos catches and brings back Politesk, if you're with us so far. So Politesk celebrates revival by sending Deanna B, who might be feeling unfairly picked on at this point, back to the bench, and this is where Ninja has had enough of their BS. So he knocks out Darth Kronos with his new ally, NRNNGN, which is like RNG, but it specifically favors Ninja. He hits Marauder Mo after taking his ball away from him. He catches Bork and Bean's ball to revive Thestral and eliminates Marauder Mo. So 4 blows, like one after the other. Then he eliminates Acox 89 and then goes on to eliminate Bork and Beans. So that's just a salvo of 6 absolutely massacre balls, all in the space of 6 balls, which really didn't take that long. Now, was Ninja, I can't remember if it was the start of the round or the start of last week, I mean, in many cases, it's kind of one and the same thing. But wasn't
One and the same, yeah.
didn't Ninja? He was laid up. He was really ill.
He was ill, yeah. I think there were reports that he had COVID.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to wonder if that was true, or if he was busy just taking performance-enhancing drugs to get him to this point, and then used COVID as a cover.
It's possible. Dusto in chat saying that we need a voiceover narration over Chris saying it was indeed a bad call. And it really was. So with the entrance of Ninja in, this game has swung from a 7-ball race win and a 6 versus 2 advantage in favour of Sweet Catch into a 1 versus 2 with for whom the ball tolls having the advantage. So if anyone was in any doubt about Politaise's huge clangor in involving Ninja, there you have it. That is a massive swing. So Thestral now revives Badwolf before being caught and eliminated by Politesk, trying to undo some of his shoddy workmanship in the earlier part of the game. And Sturrock revives VQ, and it's back to evens. So Ninjanin and Politesk, I always love it when this happens, just knock each other out whilst VQ and Badwolf avoid each zombie ball coming their respective ways. So Ninja gets hit by Politesk, but not before he takes Politesk out of the game again. It's brilliant.
I love that it was such an epic duel, and then the two high round veteran players take each other out, and suddenly we're left with 2 rookies.
Yeah, they ignore the rookies. The rookies aren't even on the table for them. They just want each other's blood. And so now it's VQ and Badwolf left standing, like everyone else has gone. So Badwolf strikes first, taking VQ out of the game, but it's arguably VQ who strikes hardest, as both of her zombie balls hit Badwolf for the double tap, which, is the right way to approach a zombie ball. So it's 14 corpses littering the court, and it's clearly time for a race-off. So balls are lined up. It's as we do at the start of the game. It's just 7 races. Most balls wins the game. So Baha beats VQ to ball 3, and Zim beats Sturrock to ball 1. So now, having lost all the first 7 race balls at the start of the game, for whom the ball tolls are 2-0 up. However, Marauder and Politesk beat Ninja and Deanna B on balls 7 and 6, and now it's 2-2. And Bork, Acox, and Darth Kronos all bring home their balls to take the round 5-2 in a race-off at the end of, I think, what Polites described as surely the most epic game in Dodgeball history. I might be exaggerating a little bit, but he made a very bold claim, something like that. I mean, and I think I need a break after that, Al. But before we do, I believe the commissioner, never taking a challenge like that lightly, went and did some digging about how epic this game was. Do you want to talk us through that?
Yeah, so Cranky is not good at just allowing people to say things like that was the most epic game of all time. He has to find numbers and research. And so he went digging and issued a short statement. And I quote, "In an effort to quantify Politis' statement on the Season 8 Round 4 match on Court 1, the commissioner has dug into the round stats for every league match in the 7-player era."
Which is
that
nuts.
That is season 4 through the current, or 148 matches. What is not included in this analysis is any non-league match or any of the 71 matches during the 6-player era, which were seasons 1 through 3. This analysis is only looking at collated stats for the matches, so we may miss some of the nuances that transpired. So this still comes with a grain of salt. So that's just the preamble from Cranky.
Always qualifying everything he says. I love it.
Yeah, all that to say, take this with a grain of salt. Now, back to Cranky's statement. However, within these 148 matches, this particular match did shine through in a few categories. First, most throws before overtime. There are a few matches that had a few more throws than the 55 of this one, but this was the longest that has gone to overtime. Also, highest lethality in a long game, The average match is 33.5 throws with a standard deviation of 9.2. So any match of 43 throws or more is quite long. There are 22 such games considered in this category. Most feature a below average lethality rate, averaging 42%, with the average of all matches sitting at 47%. This match, however, was at a 53% lethality, with 29 of the 55 throws landing for a hit or catch. And also two more categories, most hits and most total landed. With 19 hits, this match topped the chart in that category, and combined with the 10 catches, reached 29 total landed. It squeaked past a couple of 28s to take the category. Good show to all involved.
So, whilst Polites may have seemed outlandish with his initial claim of most epic game, it seems like the numbers from the commissioner bear that up.
It's pretty close. It's definitely up there. It's one for the ages.
And I don't think it's outrageous to suggest that if Ninja's team had won, like if Sweet Catch hadn't come through, and for whom Zim had been the winning captain, I think there's only one MVP, isn't there? But they didn't. So who is the MVP, Al, of this particular game? Of this epic game?
This epic game, we have to give it to Darth Kronos. He had 2 hits, he had a catch, he had a dodge, and he had a 64% win rate.
And that's pretty good. And I mean, even if Polites had a really good performance, he's probably disbarred, isn't he, for involving Ninja and
by far.
Like
that was the biggest blunder of the game.
The biggest blunder of the game. Nay, even perhaps the season.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to throw them at some point, but that early, whew, take some balls. So on to court 2 we go. This is Janie's Got a Ball, captained by Riska, versus Dodging in the Dark, captained by Rip, on the hunt for their first win. However, with Captain Rip being the only race winner on his side, Dodging go into the throwing period of the game 6-1 down to Janie's Got a Ball. Now, he tries to crush morale on the opposing team by immediately throwing at Captain Riska. It's a power move. I love to see it, Al. Every time it happens. Captain on captain action, always great. But she dodges twice before straight up taking his ball away. And leaving a pocket behind her as Zwivik comes out of absolutely nowhere and eliminates Yarboa. So Rip really went for the morale boosting Captain Scout, but ends up losing a body as Yarboa goes and hits the bench and he's lost his ball. So there's now a lull in the matches. Cyberduck, Tuna Slap, PC Load Letter, Binkley and Markbot all get involved, but no one can make an impact on the game as throws can't make contact with their intended targets until Binkley, sidestepping the Civics player's ball, takes it and almost knocks Riska's head off and sends her to the bench. So completing what his captain couldn't manage to do. Heralding a bloody section of the game as Dusto and Tuna Slap are playing a mini game of who can pay the least attention, as one is in Vegas and the other one is at a poker tourney at a secret location somewhere we don't know. It works for them though, as Binks, MTG and DG3 all fall to the gambling duo, whilst Civics and Cyberduck are taken out in the return fire from Markbot 3000 sporting a new love of the Danger Ball and Binks. A PC Load Letter is trying to send fast balls at his opponent, but is apparently missing the fast element by simply not following that up with a challenge. So rookie error there from PC Load Letter, who maybe should know a little bit better at this stage. In his defense, though, he's finding the ticker very distracting in the update, as there now appears to be a million usernames less offensive than Ass Clown, like King Dong 69, and he's definitely still not over it.
I think I actually saw in the banner King Dong 69.
They won an arena.
His arena run already. This week.
They went like 6-0 in the arena, yeah. So don't forget Zombie Tits. There's a whole bunch. There's so many. There's even another Ass Clan, as we covered in a previous episode. So yeah, poor fella. He's a bit distracted. Now, Sabella finally gets around to using a race ball by eliminating Markbot 3000, and there are a few more dodges before Guianos finally retires PC Load Letter so that he can sit on the bench and stare at the ticker a little bit more. Rip retaliates by taking out Tuna Slap, who's perhaps been distracted by the handsome form of real-life Newberg, and then catches Tuna's ball to revive Yarboa, who is back for a second chance. Now, Sabella and Dusto dodge Guianos before Dusto takes out Rip, and it's a bona fide 2v2. Dusto and Sabella against Guianos and Yarboa. Guianos misses Sabella, who misses Yarboa, and Dusto avoids a zombie ball from Rip before Sabella slides past another Guianos ball, and Yarbs can't connect on Dusto. Dusto finally catches Yarboa, though, just as Guianos is catching Dusto, and both court players are sent benchwards. But not before Dusto sends an emergency ball at Simon. Now, Sabella avoids Guianos' emergency ball as Dusto catches him in the kisser, and the game is won for Janie's Got a Ball.
Dun, dun, dun.
So, dodging in the dark, failing to win a game still, and
so close.
So close. But who's the match MVP, Al?
Oh, I'm really going to regret doing this because it's a second week in a row that Dusto is getting the match MVP. 4 hits, 1 catch, 2 dodges, 1 is race, 75% win rate. And more importantly, now that we've named him MVP twice, does this mean we have to let him into our secret clique? And does he think we actually like him now?
Oh, I don't know. We'll answer that another time, perhaps, shall we?
All right.
And we'll move on to Court 3.
Well, this is the important game.
This is everyone loves Court 3. It used to be Court 5. Now Court 3 is the cool court.
Court 3.
So this is Sisso Sit, Should I Stay or Should I Throw, captained by Sarah T, versus Never Gonna Get You Hit, captained by your very good self, SilentAl. Now, before this match even starts, Super Grandma is heard mouthing off how she's going to throw her ball straight at my face. She informs her team, much like a fully empowered Ripley, to get away from her, you bitch, and proceeds to lose her race ball, therefore having nothing to throw. But she literally, she went to her whole team and said, "He's mine, get your hands off him." So everyone backs away from the crazy lady. Modestly dubbed Battle of the Best Team Chats by Simply Steph, the game kicks off with a 4-3 ball advantage to Never Gonna Get You Hit, and we see Lux, Kittyman, and Steph holding balls against Al, Missy, Bagsman, and Stacy. Now, Captain Al immediately takes advantage of the confusion in the ranks of Sisso Sit about why Grandma isn't throwing a ball she didn't win by taking the head and eliminating Captain Sarah. Stacy, meanwhile, fancying a bit of poop on her deck, takes aim and but loses her ball, inviting a throw back at her, which, again, and we've seen this already this round, she goes on to catch and eliminate the surprised poop deck, who is immediately demanding apologies, recompense, and perhaps future apologies as well from Killer Stacy. Somehow, confused at this point, and this is like, the Kool-Aid Man.
This is my favorite part of the match.
So for anyone who's not seen the Kool-Aid adverts, like it's the Kool-Aid, which is the big jug of red liquid, just like bursts through whatever wall happens to be there and like says hello or something like that. Well, yeah. From Court 4, a confused The Mystic suddenly bursts in, announcing that he's the proud winner of Ball 2. And in the manner of someone announcing that there's a troll in the dungeon, suggests he thought we ought to know and promptly faints. So, in the confusion left by the errant The Mystic, a passage of around 8 throws take place with no one getting hit, as balls literally fly everywhere, and Lux, finally realizing he's in a game, I guess at some point he must have taken notice of chat, and in no way reading Grandma's clear and loudly given orders, throws his ball at Hypaspist, much to the fury of Super Grandma. Now, Mkola breaks the stalemate and takes Dino Queen and Smack Talker Supreme Simply Steph out of the game with a score of 69. But that's okay, because the format wasn't boring. Again, to reiterate to anyone throwing at Simply Steph this season, or indeed at any time, really don't throw boring formats because she'll just make you regret it.
Yeah, it's so boring.
It's so boring. Anyway, Hypaspist taking Lux's ball off him throws at Grandma purely to irritate her, as she clearly wanted to throw first. However, she somehow acquires a ball, and whilst I do hit her, and I will note at this point, importantly, Before I hit her, I do offer her the chance to throw her ball, because if I were not to practice what I preach, that would be terribly wrong and hypocritical of me. So I did invite her to throw her ball, and throw her ball she did, with all her might. And I then quickly snapped off an emergency ball at Vaselis, because, again, what follows is like, we've seen it this round already, twice in fact, when two people throw balls at each other and they knock each other out, like, dead. That's basically what happened. So, unfortunately, Grandma did get to make good on her promise of knocking me out. So, there we go. Zombie ball thrown by me finds the mark and eliminates Vaselis. And at this time, it's now Lux and the Kitty Man staring down 5 on the opposite side. Lux, however, has somehow found a ball from somewhere and knocks Bagman to the bench. So an interesting exchange now occurs with lots of heckling from the bench as Lisa yells at SilentAl to dance down the aisles like she dreams about him doing. And SilentAl shows her how it's done by rhythmically strutting into throwing range of the Kitty Man and knocking him back to the bench where he can continue his meme sub-game. So apparently, one of the topics of conversation in SysOSit chat was exactly how does SilentAl librarian? And it varied, clearly, but most of them involved dance moves. So Lux, now back to the wall, 1 versus 3, plays a strange gambit as he proceeds to ask his team in chat questions, and either disappears for 2 hours before searching up the answer, or straight up ignores what his team suggests in a move that will shock absolutely everybody. This comes to light as Poop Deck cryptically asks Clever Missy whether she bought Fred in their game, and it turns out that against the advice of his teammates, he did not when he had the opportunity. He bought a Docker instead of Fred. So this passage of play culminates when in the game against Emily, he plays 4 cards, and then there's a mysterious 3-hour delay before he finally plays card 5 and takes the ball. And it turns out that he was super reluctant to take the ball without listening to his teammates, who replied to his question immediately, but then 3 hours later. Emily, of course, is simply thrilled that Lux took her ball after 3 hours, and she watches Lux eliminate her captain. She's busy plotting revenge. So, just to sum that up, Lux played his turn out over the course of 20 seconds and 3 hours, 20 seconds being his first 4 cards. The 3 hours being his last card, and then he didn't even pass on lethal, he just took the ball. Anyway, a few failed throws at Corey Bear and Clever Missy, and Lux decides it's time to take out Imcolo. However, 2-time Dodgeball champ Ems is not to be easily persuaded of this, and reaps the benefit of all that plotting as she threatens to catch Lux. So Lux now snaps off all his balls in an emergency fashion at Corey Bear and Clever Missy, and we can only suspect that he then wandered off court, because having played a stellar game up until now, all his throws are caught, he's eliminated, 2 are revived, and Sarah's team have to sit down and accept defeat. So Lux had 3 balls, could have tied up the game, but threw 3 catches right at the death. 3 catches instead of 3 hits, so that can happen.
His Lux ran out.
His Lux did indeed run out. So, yes, never going to get you hit Rick rolling to another victory. But who was the MVP, Al?
Ooh, I am going to have to give it to M. Colo.
Yeah.
I mean, she got the hit.
Mm-hmm.
She got a dodge. She had a 60% win rate, but she had the clutch catch to end the game.
And whilst those numbers might look like low for an MVP, actually, I think this was one of those games where, again, all of that death was spread out across the entire team. Again, everyone contributing.
Everybody contributed. Nearly everyone had some sort of elimination, either a catch or a hit somewhere. Yeah. So it was a pretty even. I was looking at the stats during the game, and I was like, if we win this, who are we going to name MVP? Because we have a lot of similar stats. And then M gets the catch, and I was like, oh, easy enough. M it is.
Such an easy award to make when someone does that as well. It's like, no, we're winning the game right now. Yeah. So there endeth Court 3. As we move on to Court 4, this game.
Oh.
So we'll begin. by highlighting that this game is still actually ongoing. And we may yet be days away from finishing, judging by the revivals and swings this game has seen. We'll do our best to cover it, though.
My question is, what are the Vegas odds? What's the over-under on a game from this round finishing, a match from this round finishing before this one ends from last week?
I'm not sure the bookies will be taking any bets on that one, Al, because I reckon that's a given.
All right.
Apparently, M. Colo laid up in bed, not feeling very well, so hopefully the MVP cheers are up a little bit. So, Court 4, this is My Ball on Ya, captained by Slavic against Dodge Like an Egyptian, captained by Agent Sato, the game that seemingly never ends. So, Egyptians take the 4-3 edge of the races, and whilst I am forced to drag the Mystic from Court 3 through the hole in the wall to Court 4 to present him and his race win to his team captain, Cisco Alvarez is all about the important questions. Would you classify this as a fan league or a fan tournament, Al?
I would classify it as a league, since it is, this is when I think of seasons, I think league.
Absolutely.
So this is the 8th season. So it's gotta be league. Now the side events I'll call fan tournaments, like Ultimate Shootout that's going on, things like that. But this is league.
I love the fact across all of the 5 courts, all of the players involved, Cisco Alvarez was the only one to be like, okay, so just to be clear, how are we? Because now, of course, when you send challenges, you can label what it's for, right? So the only player to be like, okay, what are we doing with this one then? Let's just make sure it's correct. I mean, it's good that he's focused on that detail and not what the correct packs are or trying to send no M or goodness knows what.
No, don't be ridiculous. Let's see though if we can maybe have some people on the White Wizard Discord see about in the next update having a dodgeball option.
I mean, it would be
the challenge.
It would be great because, a lot of games in the app are sent for dodgeball, and clearly it's an easy addition to make. Now that they've got it, it's got to be just like an entry and a drop down. I can't see it being a deal breaker.
The only thing that would be, and I think it would be hilarious, is all the people who are not involved with any of the fan leagues or any fan tournaments at all, and just be like, in the latest update, they're like, what the hell is dodgeball? Trying to wrap their mind around how dodgeball is appearing in Star Realms.
Oh, Commissioner Cranky jumping into chat, correctly declaring we have playoffs, it's a league. SRDL, SR Dodgeball League. So if there was any doubt, the voice has spoken from above.
There we go.
Anyway, Cisco Alvarez, now satisfied that he has the correct label for his ball, slaps on a sticker that says Fan League, wets the ink, and sends it beaming towards Patriarch, where it leaves a lovely imprint on his forehead, so he will forever be reminded what he's playing when he looks in the mirror. Just takes him out of the game immediately. Sato dodges Fire Driller, who dodges Artemis. And then the Mystic, fancying himself a Pokemon master, fires up TM06 and catches a wild Slavic. Slavic hitting the bench early there as well. Now, Fire Driller, fresh from a self-given pep talk on the virtues of dodging Agent Sato, goes on to eliminate both Sato and Artemis one after the other. So an early power play from Fire Driller there. Meanwhile, the Mystic begins Mega Haul-in Civil War by throwing at Darklighter, which will actually last as long as the next 15 throws. So, I mean, I'd love to be a fly on the wall in that game. That must have been real epic. But anyway, we won't hear from those two for a little while. It will be, however, another 7 or so games before something significant happens, as Fire Driller is doing his best to remove his opponents, but they are stubbornly refusing to comply with his orderly wishes. But finally, JP catches Fire Driller napping and brings his captain back from the bench. Cisco Alvarez tries to double the advantage by eliminating Kincaid, but Imam69 is having none of it and catches and eliminates JP. Agent Sato, back from the bench, however, raises Imam69 by catching her throw at him, eliminating her whilst Seabus takes out the Wolfhound. So Darklighter finally wins the first battle of Civil War, catching the Mystic's throw and choosing to revive Patriarch 215, who's been waiting patiently all week to get back into the action. I And I say all week because this happened on. I remember looking at the day. This happened on Valentine's Day. That was Darklighter's gift to Patriarch on Valentine's Day, was to revive him, and that was, I think, 6 days into the round. So that's where we're at. 6 days into the round, and we've got like a couple of eliminations, maybe 5, and a whole lot of revivals. So Darklighter now turns his attentions to Cisco Alvarez and eliminates him without mercy before moving his attentions back to the Mystic, going back for some more Mega Haul in Civil War. Fire Driller gets back on the score sheet, eliminating Jester 204, who can't take Patriarch down with her Zombie Ball, and hands it off to Cbus, who immediately throws it at Patriarch, eliminating him in an almost Enduro-style knockout. So happy Valentine's Day, Patriarch. Come back on. Cbus having none of that and sends him packing.
None of it.
None of it at all. So Darklighter tries to eliminate the Mystic, who's not done, and takes the ball and could probably do this all day. Foiled, Darklighter now turns his attentions to the ball Cbus has thrown at him and catches him and eliminates him from the game. So it's just to catch us up where we're at. It's probably Sunday. It's 2 versus 2. Sorry, not Sunday because we started on a Wednesday, so it's probably Tuesday, maybe even Wednesday again. It's 2 versus 2 as Darklighter and the Mystic dodge the throws at them before Fire Driller pops up and takes Sato out of the game again, having another bout of luck, skill, whatever you call it. But Fire Driller seems to be the anti-Sato missile that they've been cradling. He can't celebrate too long, though, as he's heading to the bench in real short order as Sato takes him out. So another one of those bop, everyone falls down games. Love it.
Yeah.
So from the game chart, and to follow, to try and do this right up, we have like a game chart that charts everything that's happened in the game, like hit, throw, caught, whatever. From the chart, it looks like it's 1 versus 1 right now. But I think the next 5 results come really thick and fast, and I can't guarantee, but I have a feeling that this might have impacted the speed of those games, as it's kind of like a cat and mouse about what happened. Yeah. But what does happen is Darklighter catches the Mystic, choosing to revive Slavic. Slavic eliminates the Mystic, who catches the Mystic, reviving Kincaid, and Darklighter is then hit by the Mystic. Darklight, however, keen to end Civil War on a high, hits the Mystic again, as the Mystic is busy catching Darklighter and reviving Artemis. So now, it's Kincaid versus Artemis. Until Dead Guy Slavic catches another The Mystic throw. And bear in mind that at one point, I think The Mystic had all 7 game balls. And he revives Imam 69. And then Kincaid catches another The Mystic zombie ball and revives the Wolfhound. So we've gone from 1-on-1 to another 1-on-1 to now 3 versus 1. And all of that swung from a 2 versus 5. So My Ball Anya control all but one of the balls, and Artemis is all on his own and in a bit of a tight spot. And this is where the game ends, as it were, as far as we're concerned. Because that's right now.
Right.
That's all we know. Now, in the past, Al, we've not awarded MVP awards to unfinished games. Is that
correct?
Is that where we're going again?
That's where we're going. I think we have shown a lot can happen in this game where we think we're almost to the end and then it just keeps going. So, it wouldn't be fair to name an MVP since we don't know which team is going to win, and we don't know what tricks and what players might still get revived to help increase their stats.
It could go to another 7 versus 7 in the end. Like, it could go all the way back up. Who knows where this game's going to go?
Could go, to races.
Or just lots of revivals, and we're back at. Please no. Please don't go back to the start. Anyway, let's move on to Court 5.
Court 5.
Court 5. So Dodgy Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. And that's captained by Raka versus Donut Stop Reviving, captained by Jasmo. But it's rigged. How do you know who's getting it? Am I right? Yes, Dusto, you're 100% right.
In that case, then just let me name an MVP if we're rigging it. I'm going to name myself the MVP.
That seems fair, actually. Yeah, I think that's a valid MVP. I mean, our courts were adjoined, so clearly.
That's right. I mean, we could give it to you because you did have to deliver one of the players.
Deliver the race ball. Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
Anyway, on to Court 5. Dodgy Deeds versus Donut. Now, first of all, Al, this might be my favourite match title because for those who pay attention, Cranky, the commissioner, puts in like a 2-word like match title, which is a combination of both team names. And this one is Dirty Donut.
Dirty Donut.
Dirty Donut, I just love that. Now, as is tradition, it appears on this team, Brent is far too busy tripping over his caps lock and composing shouty songs to notice Tatiana grabbing the race ball ahead of him. And for the first time in forever, Alderin wins a race ball. And indeed, it's a Dirty Donut that takes the races as the Donuts take the 4-3 advantage into the throws. And Raka, in what appears to be a familiar move, is straight out of the gates, seemingly always the first to fire, but unfortunately for him, he's been looking at stats and picks on Rollinpar, who up to now had been having an absolute nightmare of a season. But as one of the Commander tournaments is proving, you can never write Rollinpar off. In fact, I think in the WWBC, he's like second or third in the season stats. So he, of course, catches and eliminates Captain Raka, not only for first blood, but for his first win of the season.
Wow.
Alderin next picks on a rookie and eliminates Sir Thestral before Compton P dodges the smelliest Yeti ball you've ever seen and throws it back at him. But sadly for Compton, throwing a bit of a dolly and allows Smelly Yeti to revive Sir Thestral with his easy catch of his own musk. And if you're if you read that chat, it's Compton and Yeti have a quality interplay between there. It's not necessarily for the lighthearted, but it's definitely amusing. So Cranky Day eliminates that Sean guy, TSG, whilst Rollimplar plays a tight game to eliminate Dakaran. Vorazori, however, catches Cranky's ball and revives Captain Raka. And meanwhile, Alderin is, you guessed it, eliminating Sir Thestral. So Alderin catches a Dirty Donut, reviving that Sean guy, whilst Osmosis Brett is reenacting some kind of weird mashup between Phantom of the Opera and some heavy metal concert. And honestly, I'm not really sure what happened, but he put Tatiana to the bench, so we can assume that happened. Not to be outdone, though, Alderin catches one Carlos and sends him to the bench, whilst Cranky Day catches Vori's ball, reviving Sir Thestral. So we've had 4 straight catches, 2 dead, 2 revivals, and there seems to be almost no dull balls in this game at all. Chasmo dodges Alderin in a rare ball that doesn't connect with something, as Rollimpar, Smelly Llamas in tow, eliminates Raka thanks to his spy network, and TSG eliminates Obi. That's that Sean guy eliminating Osmosis Brent. Chasmo takes out Compton P, who takes out Yeti. So I make it a 2 versus 4 in favour of the Donuts, and they're looking like they might get another win. So next, and I can't believe, Al, I'm sat here for the 3rd week running saying this again. But here we are. Next, Alderin throws at Chasmo. Gets, if I read the situation right, a mathematically possible but unlikely, maybe fortunate hit from the top of the deck. Catches Chasmo off guard, remembering here, team, that we're all aboard the throw on your own turn bus here, rushes to the thread, and posts literally seconds before Chasmo. The timestamp is the same minute on Facebook. Remembering also that we are not on the race to the thread bus here. So yeah. I confess myself, like I'm incredibly disappointed. We've talked about this like 2 shows in a row. One, right. If it looks like there's a potential you're gonna get caught or hit in the next throw, even if it seems unlikely, that's your chance to make your throw. However, if you are getting an unlikely top of the deck, don't do that. Don't rush to the thread. They've got a ball, let them throw it. Or give them a chance. I mean, hell, I even reached out to Super Grandma and Visalis and said, hey guys, do you want to throw your ball before I hit you because it's going to happen next turn? Do that. Don't rush to the thread. No one wants to see it.
Right.
Anyway, Chasmo is eliminated and has to pass this ball off, which he does to Cranky Day. Meanwhile, Aldurin gets back to his favourite pastime of throwing at Sir Thestral. Aldurin and Cranky Day throw balls at each other, whilst Aldurin's ball hits Cranky Day. Cranky's can't connect, and in fact, Aldurin catches it, reviving Dankaran. Osmosis Brent's long-forgotten zombie ball manages to catch Vorazori unawares in his disrespectfully assembled living room in the corner of the court. He's actually got like a TV set up and some beers and is just watching the Winter Olympics. So it's no surprise when Osmosis Brent's ball catches him, in the words of General Melchett, totally off guard, sending him to contemplate his Olympic fun on the bench. And finally, Aldurin eliminates Sir Thestral for the third time and catches Rollin-Par to tie up the game. So Al, MVP for this one.
So MVP is actually interesting this time. In Captain's Chat, Raka said, well, in between riding Cranky's ass and giving us helpful hints on how we can do our show better and pick MVPs better, Raka says, and I quote, praising players makes them weak and complacent.
Ooh.
So, in honor of the captain's wishes, we will not be giving an MVP award on Court 5 because we wouldn't want to make any of his players weak and complacent.
That's fair. I mean, the captain has clearly expressed the wishes there, Al.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We can respect a captain's wishes, so I think that's a very reasonable and sensible award, or lack of it. So with a Raka award, MVP of the round. So the most valuable, sort of the best performance of round 4, and Moneyball we've got left to do.
MVP of the round. This was actually really tough. There were some really, really good performances this round. But I'm going to have to give it to 9 Inch Ninja. Even though his team didn't win, his performance was nuts. 6 hits, 3 catches. And, I mean, he nearly single-handedly brought his team the win. I mean, they brought him back from the brink.
Well, they were down and out, weren't they?
Forced the race off, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic performance by Ninja, and again, on the back of being terribly ill at some point during this match. So, 6 hits and 3 catches is fantastic.
Right.
And the Moneyball, Al.
Moneyball, we're going to give to Darth Kronos. He was a 6th round pick for ACOX. And he managed this round 2 hits, a catch, a dodge, and that 64% win rate. It was a great game.
Fantastic. Well, congrats to Darth Kronos. And I see we've got Stella Cosmos popping into chat saying that's their first Star Realm stream. So,
this poor person came in our stream for his first Star Realm stream.
For their first,
we don't even play Star Realms. We just talk about it like 2 monkeys. Like.
I'm terribly sorry, Stella. This is, I mean, it is technically a Star Realms stream. I have actually streamed Star Realms, JP. Thank you very much, but not recently. So just for Stella's benefit, this is a stream about a specific fan-created league, Dodgeball, which does involve Star Realms, and it does use Star Realms as the vehicle to complete the games. But this is like a review show of one of the rounds. So this may not make a whole deal of sense to you. It's just Al and I being disrespectful and offensive to the players in the league.
Being disrespectful and offensive to players that we secretly like.
Yeah, that's
but
very
it's
true.
It's a pretty big secret.
Yeah.
However, if you are interested in watching people actually stream Star Realms and playing and giving you tips, we actually have some really great streamers here watching who I'm sure would love to drop their channels
in the So I know Dusto's here, and
I think VQ was here earlier.
VQ was here earlier. Those two, they stream on Thursday night, if I'm correct. There's Matt the Cutter Newberg, who streams on a Wednesday night. There's also Darwin, who creates the game. He streams on Saturday mornings. And he's an excellent watch. Really, really interesting to get his thoughts on the game. So there's lots of high quality streams out there where you can watch people playing the game. This is not that stream. So I'm terribly sorry, Stella.
We are neither high quality nor are we playing the game.
I'm terribly sorry that this is your first experience of Star Realm streaming. So yes, this is very atypical. This is Jasmo. This is like when my wife walks in on me listening to Thunderballs. What the hell is going on here? Yes, I can see how she might think that. Yeah. But Stella, like, take a look at those streams. They'll be really useful, and they'll also have previous streams up on their YouTube or their Twitch channels, so you can kind of get a feel and see which kind of, I mean, follow them all. Follow only your favorites. I'm sure you'll find someone that kind of works with what you're looking for to see in terms of commentary and play. So yeah, there should be lots there. But thanks very much for stopping by. We're almost at the end of this one, but I think we've just got to look at the table before we move forwards, haven't we, Al? And
oh yeah,
and see where we're sat at the end of round 4 as we go into round 5, and still at the top. Still undefeated. It's probably going to bite me on the bum, but is never going to get you hit. Captained by SilentAl.
We're going to get so rickrolled at the end of the season.
We really are. Yeah, we're going to pull. We're going to pull another one like the blue team happened last season. But anyway, in second place, Sweet Catch of Mine, then Dodgy and Dodge Like an Egyptian, with their game unfinished with My Ball on You. For whom the ball tolls and Journey's got a ball sitting at 2-2. Then Donut Stop Reviving and Sisasit sitting at 1-3 and down at the bottom, still without a win, but it's going to happen.
I mean, they're too good of a team. There's the great players on there. Every game has been close. They're going to have to win one eventually.
I mean, you got to ask though. With Rip's first pick of DG3, is Daryl's focus on Dodgeball or is it on winning 3 tournaments in one day?
I think I specifically mentioned something like this during the draft.
But I mean, yes. I mean, you look down that lineup. You've got DG3, Guianos, Yarboa, Markbot 3000, MTG in real life, and Darth Binkley and Rip as captain. They're good players. So it's only a matter of time before they absolutely curb stomp one of their opposition.
Right.
So that's where we're at the end of the round. Round 5 kicked off today, with one round 4 match still ongoing. We'll see where we go. But we're starting to get into the back end now. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this will, halfway through this round, will mark the halfway point of the season, I guess, technically. And so, yeah, we're pretty much halfway through the season. It's looking interesting so far. As always, I'll put this up on YouTube afterwards. You can catch it on Twitch afterwards. And don't forget, if you've got any, and this is really what we do it for, I think, Al, if you've got any of that delicious tea that we so delightfully want, don't let Al down. Make sure don't let him down. Make sure you send it in to srdbtatler@gmail.com. Always anonymous unless it can't be. We strive to keep our sources anonymous, and just to remind you that is the best place to send it to. If you've sent me tea or Al tea and it hasn't gone there, there's a chance it doesn't get included because there's only so many chats I can keep track of.
Right. And remember, with your tea, it doesn't have to be true as long as it is funny.
Yeah. Veracity, absolutely optional. Comedy, not.
No.
So yeah, send us in the tea. And yeah, have a great week. Have a great round. Look forward to seeing the results as they play out. Some fantastic chat is always appreciated when we're scrolling through those courts to see what's been going on. Yeah, thanks for coming in and watching. It's been a great show. Thanks for being with us, Al and myself, and we'll catch you next week. It's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from him.
Night.